What up, everybody? It's your boy Alex, aka the Grooming Expert. I'm here with another haircut tutorial for you guys today. If this is your first time tuning in, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and help your boy grow his channel. We're going to be having some fun in this video today. We're going to be using the twist sponge, enhancements, got some new stuff for you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into it. As you can see, this is the before. We got a nice little transformation in this video at the end, so make sure you stay tuned. As always, you guys want to start with combing out the entire head. He has pretty long hair on top, so we're going to go ahead and break out that pick. Make sure it's picked all the way out, and then comb the sides down with the comb or brush, whatever you decide to use. We're going to go ahead and start our first line. Today we're doing a mid-high fade, bald fade. So we're going to go ahead and create our first line. We're going to make that first line nice and even all the way around the head. Make sure you bald out the bottom, and then we'll get right into this fade. Like I said, we are doing a bald fade, so we're going to go ahead and break out that shaver and go ahead and clean up the bottom. Make sure not to go too close to your first line that you created because it will be very difficult to buff that line out when you're done with the fade. Alright, and starting on one side first, you guys know what I like to do. I like to remove a lot of the bulk and the weight first. So I got my number 2 guard on, clipper all the way closed, and we're going up, making sure not to dig into the hair when you get closer to the top, because otherwise you will start to round it out instead of keeping it aligned with the sides of the head. You want to make sure it's a little more boxed rather than rounded, and then you can shape it up at the end depending on what look you're going for. Alright, and after removing a lot of the weight, we are going to go ahead and create our next line. You guys want to make sure you are scooping out with the clipper, as you can see. And we're going to use a half, which is the clipper all the way open, going up about a ½ inch. And still staying on that first line, we're going to go ahead and close the clipper halfway, still no guard. We're going to go ahead and use that corner to kind of lighten up that line just a little bit, and then we're going to move down to our 0. And once we are satisfied, we're going to go ahead and move down to our 0. And with this 0, we are going to just only using the corner, just kind of tap at that bottom line. It will lighten up a lot, but it may not be completely faded out yet. We'll probably have to come back with the trimmer later. And now working on our next line, we are going to put the half guard on, clipper all the way open, go up another ½ inch, and then we will come back down and close the guard. Alright, and now still attacking that second line, we're going to close the clipper all the way, still have our half guard on, and use only the corner of the clipper to lighten up that line. And now that we're getting closer to the top, we're going to go ahead and smooth out the hair before moving on to our next guard. So we still have the half guard on, clipper open, and just going to smooth out those curls. And then we're going to put our number 1 guard on our clipper all the way open, and blending into the top of the fade, we are going to use the corner only just to remove a lot of those dark areas. Closing the clipper, number 1 guard still on. We're just gonna go right below our last line that we just blended and do any detail work, see if there's any dark areas that still need to be buffed out. Like I said earlier to you guys, we are going to have to come back with the trimmer at the end, using the corner only just to attack that first line that we created at the bottom in between the shaver and the 0, just to make sure it is completely blended out. When you are satisfied with one side, you're going to go ahead and move on to the other side and repeat all the same steps. Again, we started with removing a lot of the weight first with our number 2 guard, and then we're going to move on to our half. That's a clipper all the way open, and then we're going to go up about a 1/2 inch, and then we're going to fade out the bottom half first, and we're going to go ahead and close the clipper halfway, use the corners, close the clipper all the way, use the corners, and then we're going to start fading up to a half, number 1, using mostly the corners, and then come back at the end of the bottom of the fade and detail the first line that we created. Also, making sure that the fade blends in nice and smooth with the top. We're gonna make sure you pick out that top first, and we're gonna lightly just go straight up and out. Make sure not to dig in too deep, and just kind of shape the top or shape the sides of the top to kind of make sure it's blended nicely and we don't need to fade anymore. On this side, I kind of jumped ahead of myself and decided to line up this one side first. So I went ahead. So make sure when you're lining up the sides, you brush the hair out. When you're dealing with curly hair, you definitely got to make sure you really brush the hair out. Make sure it's stretched out as far as possible, and keep the line as natural as possible when you're lining it up. And once again, we are repeating all the same steps on the back as well, completely all the way around the fade, everything, all the steps were exactly the same. And just make sure that you are using that corner of the clipper to take out each line that you create. Once the whole fade is completely done and we are satisfied, we're going to go ahead and start the front lineup. First thing you want to do is pick out the hair in the front. Make sure you clean up the front very lightly with the clipper by just going straight up and knocking down any loose hairs. So it's a lot cleaner and just easier to pay attention to with all the hairs that are laying straight down flat in front of you. You're going to comb the hair down, make sure it's nice and flat, and then we're going to start lining up, keeping it as natural as possible. All right, fade looks good, haircut looks good. We threw a little part in there too. We're gonna go ahead and throw a little product in his hair and use a twist sponge to give him some nice natural curls. One thing I would like to mention while using the twist sponge, a lot of people tend to make mistakes on is when you're using it, make sure to focus on one section first when you're twisting. A lot of people just take it and rub it across their whole head in one big circle, but as you can see what I'm doing, I'm focusing on one area and I'm twisting it, and then I move on to another section, and I do that around the whole head until each section is very, very curly. And you'll get the most out of these twist sponges and twist rackets and stuff like that if you do it like this. And I only use enhancements for clients that request it. I do not use it on every single client. This client does like to use them, so we're just going to keep it looking as natural as possible. A very light enhancement along the front lineup, and it'll make it look very nice and dark and crispy. So I like to make sure I do the enhancement first and then move on to the straight razor after, and then you can see everything really pop and stand out at the end. The final product, everyone. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to my channel. Let's blow this channel up. I love y'all. Be good. Tell your friends about me. Peace.